Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name is ChiefDog74 and let's get into round 3 of our F1 My Team career mode. Now today guys, as you can see, there you go, it's back there. The logo has had a bit of switching of colours. I thought that it would look better in that, which I feel like it does, so stuck with that. If it goes back to my car, I'll just wait for it to roll through. There you go, you can see we've got a new livery on the car. We do have 2 million though, so we're gonna have a look at what we want to buy. I did ask in the comments which one we should get, but since I'm not a very big channel, didn't get any comments, so I am thinking that aerodynamics is the way to go. Obviously we got this chassis thing, and after looking back at the video, I realised that it was just from the start. So I think when William asked whether which area we were most proud of and we picked chassis, then it automatically gave us some upgrades for it. So but yeah, we're gonna do this one. Failure rate, number of resource points facility produces. I reckon build time is the thing we want to buy. So yeah, there you go, we're now poor once again. And when did that say that it was going to come in? 28th of March, which is before the next Grand Prix, so that would be definitely great. We've got a load of R&D. So what can we purchase that on? When was this going to be done? It's going to be done for the 30th, so we'll skip time till then, and then we'll use our points. Obviously we have the sponsor. Here's a more in-depth look at my my livery. There you go. Can zoom in a bit on it. Definitely a step up, and partly the reason why I haven't been playing or continuing this series was because I wanted to get some of the liveries for our car, which is done by completing challenges. So I got this one, thought it was good, and applied it. But we have a whole bunch of time to fill up, so I think we want to try and get the team acclaim up a bit, and help out some of the other aspects of the team. So I think we definitely want to get the sponsor thing there. Just having a look at some of these, and I kind of feel like we should get this so the morale of all of our departments is increased. So we'll do that. We'll spend a bit of money, but hopefully we will hopefully we'll gain it back in some point. And I suppose we should help out our second driver a bit. So that's quite nice, tucked it in. Got the team acclaim boost there, then morale and a little bit extra resource points and awareness for our second driver. And then it's the Grand Prix, so let's have a look at the messages. Estimate of how good our car is compared to rivals. So as you can see, we're above Williams and Haas already, and we're fairly close to our rivals, or what we picked as our rivals is Alfa Romeo. So I think that once we've got some of this done, some of these upgrades done, then we should be in the clear, but let's advance time quickly. So go all the added parts on team building. Not sure what that was for, but
sooner or later you'll probably be asked by the media who you consider to be your rival. Think carefully who you select. While you will receive a claim for beating them, you'll lose a claim if you fail to do so.
So yeah, there we go. We're going to be picking our rivals soon. So definitely a fun one. Hanoi next though, not sure. Never played or raced around the circuit at all. I've been trying to keep away from it. I haven't raced, as I said, haven't raced on it. But of course I have seen some other people drive on it, so it's not particularly super new. But let's just quickly look at some upgrades then. So I reckon we should buy this one so we can get these two, because obviously we'll have more without upgrading. So let's buy this. That'll come in 20th of April, and that should get us just over Alfa Romeo there, so that's definitely okay. Durability will be coming in soon. Engine power I feel like is fine at the moment, but let's get this upgrade. What do I want to do? Yeah, let's get this one. Get that all done, and then I'll do practice. I'll do more laps this time, and then we should be good to go on to qualifying. Now I'm going to do this slightly differently. I'm going to record the qualifying as usual with me talking just like I am now, but in the race I'll be silent and do an overlay after that, so I can explain thoughts and stuff after, as one may usually do for racing videos. But yeah, I'll see you after practice and on to qualifying. So as you can see, this was I just finished practice 1, and this has popped up. So this was what our team manager or whatever, someone that talked to us, said was going to happen. So we can either choose between Kevin Magnussen, Roman Grosjean, or Nicholas Latifi. Now I'm having a look at these. Nicholas Latifi would, of course, it's low difficulty, so it'd be fairly easy, and we usually pass him when we race. But Kevin Magnussen, not always, and Grosjean, we had a battle with last time in Bahrain, so I reckon Romain Grosjean is the one we were going to go for.
It's the start of the season. How do you think things are going to go for you?
I reckon we'll do this. There you go. Team acclaim
You
was
left a lot of
affected.
paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners?
Well, that would be because I've never driven this track before. Guess no comment really.
Appreciate your time.
Well, there you go. So practice 1 has been complete, and I felt that it was really hard. That opening semicircle like corner is really tricky, and the one at the end of the really long straight that's next to each other, that corner is quite difficult because you're not going for the apex, you go wide and then you go turning into the apex after it. So difficult, but we still got 2 practice sessions, so there's always plenty of time to try and try and get back to our good old track ways. And yeah, so practice 2 next. And if there's any more media or interesting stuff that happens, then I'll make sure to record it for you guys. Just done practice. It just didn't really go well, to be honest. There's no other way of putting it. Practice. Qualifying pace was terrible. I couldn't even do ERS management without having difficulties. So yeah, not going to be too great for our team, but that's not to say that we won't do well. I mean, we could still do well, but not too many high hopes for qualifying. So hopefully we'll be able to pull off some magic in the race. But yeah, let's see how good we can get. That was a right turn, first one. Turn 2, I just hate it. It's so hard to steer around. Maybe with like a wheel, or not with a controller, it may be a bit easier, but with a wheel it's terribly hard. And I've turned my steering wheel sensitivity up, and it's already terrible. Also, that section is fairly hard. We seem to be able to get a decent time through that though. But yeah, I don't mind this track, but I don't think it's the greatest. But then again, I can't judge it too much since I've been playing the others for a lot longer, so I've got used to it and everything. But I don't really like it. This part's alright though. I like how flowy it is. However, when you're doing the track accumulation, it's a nightmare because there's just so many gates, one after another, just like pelting at you. But as we come across the line, it'd be P8, so did we take, oh god, we took a lot of front wing damage. So I'm going to box now, and I reckon I'm going to try one more lap. But yeah, do not like this track too much. It's so tricky, especially in the starting 2 areas. So
okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
Really don't like this circuit. So of course we go slow round that corner as usual, so that's, you know, brilliant. Still losing time, so that's just amazing. That's really what I wanted to see. And we just touched the wall there, so also highly fun. And we're also a second down on the lap, so yeah, just I'm gonna be so glad when this weekend is over. What's the next race? I think the next race is
Juan Manuel is faster.
I reckon that oh wait, what is the next one? I think it's China. So I don't actually mind China. I'm decent at it. Long straight obviously helps. But yeah, Hanoi, not for me, I'm afraid. So and we just completely ruin the lap, and that's going to be us in P22 for qualifying. Across the line, and we're still 22nd. Oh no, this isn't looking good at all. No, oh.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three: Leclerc, Vettel and Valtteri Bottas. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Okay, well, a lot of work to do to get even close to some sort of GP like decent spot. So yeah, not too many high hopes for the race, but we just have to really punch it, smash it out the park, and then hopefully we should be alright. I'm going to change something if I can, which I'm going to turn off the formation lap, because there's no point in keeping it in, so yeah, but so then let's have a look.
Quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
Some wise wisdom from Jeff, I guess. Track looking just cloudy all the time. We do slightly lose out on our rivalry, but hopefully we can pull off some great performance and get things back to how they should be. Can I change anything here? Yes, I can. I can turn off formation lap, which I've now done. So I'll see you in the race where we will start off our thing.
The Formula One circus has arrived in Southeast Asia once more, as we usher in a new era and get ready to go racing here in Vietnam. A lap of Hanoi circuit then, 3.4 miles around the Vietnamese capital. A number of the 23 corners take their inspiration from other great circuits, hopefully creating plenty of passing opportunities. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Now, can I talk to you about Pierre Gasly? Looks like they've got a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Sainz, Ricciardo, Albon, Ocon and Lando Norris, Perez, Raikkonen, Daniel Kvyat and Grosjean, Russell, Magnussen, Juan Manuel Correa and Antonio Giovinazzi, Latifi, Stroll, Blue and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot today. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So this is Future Dan. We're getting ready for today's race. One-stop strategy either way, of course, because we are doing 25%, so it's highly short. But we'll see what we can pull off in this race. Obviously qualifying wasn't the best, but we should always be hopeful for the race. So here we go to 5 red lights here at Hanoi, round 3. And it's lights out and away we go. We get a really good start. flying through all of these cars. We almost get squeezed out by a teammate, and I think that was Magnussen there. Yep, we make a massive dive, and we've hit our teammate. But we have to go the really long way around as we go outside of Latifi. So a really great start. Of course, we were moved up to 21st because of Pierre Gasly's penalty, but yeah, definitely a great start up to P16. So already we're flying past Norris. Luckily no damage. So yeah, as Jeff said, we're looking pretty good so far. Of course, Norris is the faster car, so I wouldn't be surprised if we tried to make a move here. But yeah, really good start for us. I would usually get a replay, but unfortunately I had to, or time got the better of me, and I had to mid-save in the game, so it didn't give me a replay or highlight or whatever. Or it did, but it wasn't. It was only at the part that I done today, because I finished the rest of the race off about from lap 11. So that's a bit of a shame, but as you're about to just see, I think it's gonna come up soon. Yeah, teammate in the pits. So at the time I didn't know what that meant. Why was he going into the pit so early? But then I thought back to when we first started racing, as we just dive bombed Magnussen there up into P14. But yeah, after having a bit of thought about it, I did think that we could have accidentally knocked our teammate's front wing when we went for the dive. So and just kissed the wall there. But yeah, so we're in good position, but at what cost against our teammate? We'll have to find out as we go fairly wide on that corner. Still weren't liking it too much, but we are starting to get a little bit better. As we try and close up to Grosjean, now our rival, of course. So, and there's green flags ahead. Not sure what happened. Yellow flags now, and it does seem like Valtteri Bottas over there. So yeah, Valtteri Bottas is out of the session here. So really unlucky for him. I think he won the last 2 races that we did. Obviously Australia, Bahrain. Be sure to check them out before you watch this one. But yeah, Valtteri out. So not looking too great for Mercedes already. Not sure how it happened. Of course, if I did have the highlight, I would have looked to see it, but I obviously can't. But yeah, P12 then, 'cause in all that carnage, we did pass Grosjean. So yeah, that's pretty good. Lap 3 just finished, and then to the end of lap 3, we look ahead to Russell. But Norris is definitely on the back of us now, so he's looking like he's having a pretty decent run. But yeah, as Jeff just said there, pretty far ahead. But now as we skip later on into this lap, Norris is having a little look there to try and overtake us. And he goes round on the inside. We do get a slight buffer there, not sure what happened there. But Norris does overtake us. We'll try and get him back on the inside as we go really quite on the curve, but we can't do it. And now Daniel Kvyat looking to overtake us, but luckily we use the overtake button and make sure that his plans are stopped in their tracks. And just a little bit more later on now, and we make a slight error, and now Kvyat looking again, as he does just make the move, but we go wheel to wheel. He does just make it. A little bit of contact made, I think. I do have damage on reduced though, so luckily as Jeff just talked there. So sounds like we're going to be boxing in fairly soon. I think we box on lap 7 or 8, so we need to really push and try and catch up to Norris, but he is pretty far ahead. But again, Kvyat comes knocking on this straight. He looks to go onto the outside of what this corner would be, but we do just about squeeze him out, make sure to do it fairly gently so no contact made. But we go back onto this straight. This seems to be a prime overtaking place here at Hanoi. We try and do everything possible to make sure that we stay ahead in this race, but of course some things may happen, as Kvyat does look to the inside of this corner, but he does just tuck away there, and then he goes for it and slightly hits us there, so not sure what his thought process was there, but of course AI are slightly different now. But Giovinazzi now looks for a chance there to try and overtake Kvyat, so you know, fair enough there. And on to just the end of lap 6 then, and Kvyat is coming back up to us, but a whole bunch of cars have now just pit, so we're into P11 down to bit to P12, of course, because they get the more inside line of that area. But Kvyat just right there, so let's really hope that we can last these tyres and make sure we stay on there and get the best possible performance of the car before we pit. But definitely Kvyat looking very close to us, so we'll see what we can do to try and keep ahead. But again, this long straight is a really big weak point for the car, so really hoping that we can get some upgrades in the future, as Kvyat comes flying past us on the inside, trying to use some rich mix. I wanted to save a bit of overtake for when we exited the pit, so I wasn't too ashamed of us not being so far ahead up in the order. But as we now come on to slightly later on in the lap, and we make our pit stop, I did turn off pit assist for both the going into the pit and exiting the pit, because I thought it would be a bit more realistic, so that's why I'm slightly slower than if I had the assist, but still pretty good for fairly few decent stops. Our stop was slightly slow though, 2.9, so Russell does get ahead of us, but Gasly's just still following us into the pits, and we almost just run into the barrier there. So definitely the pit exit there a bit tight, but we do make it through, and all of a sudden we still have to keep on fighting using rich mix and overtake, because now Gasly, so Kvyat's teammate, is now behind us and is looking for an overtake, but no such luck there, as we come to the end of our out lap, if you want to call it, from the pits, and others have already or are just pitting now, so we're going to gain some more places, and we're back up to P12 there. Had to pause a bit there, can't remember why though, but wasn't when I had to leave, that's a bit later on, I think. But yeah, we got DRS now as we look to the back of Kvyat. We're gonna preserve some overtake because we don't have too much of it, but we'll have to try and see if we can overtake Kvyat. Of course, the AlphaTauri car looking fairly good. I'd probably say it's the low end of mid-team and high end of bottom team. But his teammate Gasly does get past us, so he almost squeezes us out there, but we go round the long way outside, go off the track a bit, but we're still wheel to wheel. I try and use overtake mode, gently squeeze him out, and nothing really Gasly could do there. I suppose the AI don't really use too much ERS in that corner. But yeah, we make the overtake done. Kvyat is just ahead, so he is starting to make a gap though. But as we go on through this race, I am feeling a lot at ease with the car now. I feel like I'm starting to get to grips with the track, which is always what you want to see. So we do actually just touch the wall there, ironically, and we do sustain some front wing damage, so that could fault us once again. But yeah, Gasly looks like he's coming in hot. He's tucked right under there, and I think he will try and have a look at a move, but does just hold off his feelings and thoughts. And Kvyat and Russell having a fight up ahead, so I did think while they were fighting each other, I'd be able to try and catch up to them and overtake both of them, which would put us into P12, I think. So I definitely wanted to have a look there. But as you just see, we go really wide and Gasly has a look, so hold off on that attack just for now. But now Gasly comes on with another attack on the same straight. Lap 11 it is, so just 3 laps to go. Gasly gets past us, we try and use DRS, we have a bit of a screen buff there. And Stroll also coming past us. And we try and get them back, so we have a massive dive bomb. And unfortunately Stroll does get hit there, and Gasly is completely slowed down. So partly our fault, but you can't really go into that corner 3 wide, so unfortunately someone had to pay the price or give up the position, and unfortunately that ended up being Stroll. So, you know, very different tactics, but of course we also had the front wing damage, so we had that to worry about. But Giovinazzi just behind us, and just up ahead is when I have to pause, unfortunately, which obviously a bit of a shame due to such a big race for us, but we do just get a challenge complete. I think it's complete a retry, mid-save session or something like that. But Giovinazzi coming in quite close to us, we leave him the space and we just get him back as we brake a little late. And I do just look behind me, and he seems to have got really far away from us all of a sudden, so I was slightly confused about that. I thought he would be right on the attack all the way up to the next section, but still Russell ahead, but he has made quite a big gap, so nothing really we can do there. But I do go down to P15 for a brief moment, and I realise that Giovinazzi has gone into the pits, so I do believe that his front wing came off when he tried to overtake us. I'm not sure why. Not sure why he did that, but our teammate very far. And as Jeff just said, their final lap, and Magnussen is looking to overtake us, so our rival's teammate having a look and trying to overtake us here, so we do have to just try and limp home the car. We'll use every ounce of DRS and not DRS but ERS and fuel mix to try and get this car home and in 14th. If we are to succeed in that, that would be amazing for the team. Now, it's not points paying positions, that's true, but it is definitely a step in the right direction as we become really close to points. Lewis Hamilton does win out here, at Hanoi, so you know, fair play, good job to him. But Magnussen very close, and we sustained some front wing damage there on the other side, so not sure what that was all about. But here we go, as we come into the final sector, this lovely flowing section. Obviously a bit more better if you had a front wing, but there you go, we come across into some of the few last corners. Unfortunately not able to gain on Russell, and we do just fend off Magnussen as we come round the last corner to get P14 here at Hanoi. So that was really quite unexpected for me. And we get driver of the day, so there you go, really good stuff here from the team. Wasn't expecting such a great performance as I wasn't really enjoying the track. But let's listen to what the commentators have to say.
What made the difference out there today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes. Let's see what effect this result has had on the
So
driver's
there you go,
Lewis Hamilton
race
seems to be
over,
the drivers'
P14
champion.
for
Let's
us.
discuss, Ant. Would you say is a
Just
contender
really
for
great,
driver of the
really
day?
I have to give it to Blue. They fought so
just
hard and had incredible pace at
astounded
times,
that we could
so I don't
even
think
get
anyone
this
else
great.
did a better job today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Our championship leaders
So there you
retain their
go,
position,
driver
but
of the
their
day.
lead is shrinking. Another team that excelled today was Williams, who make further
So
progress on the
there you
table.
go.
After an event like that, who
But
knows what the sport
of
has in
course,
store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
but yeah, just really happy about the race.
That was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours.
Of course, no points though, so we're still in 10th. But we do have an interview with Claire here. So I was thinking which department would I like to help out here, and I did in the end go for the aero one, or the one on the right.
Things were close between
So I wanted to try and raise the acclaim of the team here, so I went with the right one again, which was about team effort. So I didn't want to go all cocky and say like, oh, I'm like the best driver, because of course I am new and Grosjean's been in for a bit of time, so I went for that option. And again, linking back to Stroll, the Stroll incident, I went for the right one, because I felt like nobody wants to give down track position for that. But yeah, so there you go, that's Claire's interview done, the race weekend over. We do lead the rivalry that we got just today, so looking strong here. Team gaining a bunch of acclaim here, so always lovely to see, of course. And in terms of money, we did get the our sponsor target done because none of us DNF'd, but we do just get 50k because of the damages that we did have on our car at the end of the race. So 1.2 million in the bank though, so a fair amount. for the team, and then hopefully next time we'll be able to get a bit more money. But just looking this little sneak peek, apparently the gearbox upgrade that we tried failed there, so not so great. But that will conclude today's episode. If you did enjoy this race, I know I certainly did, then hit the like button. If you like all my other content, or just F1, then hit the subscribe. Comment on anything you enjoyed or any tips that you have for me, because I'm always welcome to learn. But until then, this has been Chief Dog 74, and I'll leave you with our new livery just in front of us there.